This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
What's up, everybody? Ricky Widmer here, along with fellow man-child Johnny Karlic. Oh, I look like shit. You look like big shit. I got it. It. It took me so many times to get the hand-eye coordination down.
It's hard.
It is. Well, when you're not used to sign language.
Yeah, exactly.
Or signing, I should say.
Sign language.
I'm just not used to it. But welcome into our review of Rampage. Movie reviews that we do each and every week for you guys. I'm Ricky Widmer. This is Johnny Karlic. And before we get into the review, housekeeping, quick, short, and simple at the beginning. You like what we do here, make sure to check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. If you are new, welcome. It is glad to see your wonderful faces today. If you want an MVP t-shirt, go check the store link down below in the description. Mostvaluablepodcast.com. That's where you catch MVP each and every day. And last but not least, make sure to go on to iTunes and Apple Podcasts and give the Rick and Johnny podcast a 5-star rating. Johnny, we went and saw Rampage this week. We're going to get right into it.
Yep.
How we do it, in case you're new, is the beginning we kind of sit in a non-spoiler mode. Then we dive into spoiler mode. We spoil the shit out of it. We have it to where if you guys want to pause, see the movie, come back, you can do so, or you can roll right through. Then at the end, we give our show stealer, which is our MVP. MVP gives an MVP, the person who stole the show for this movie. And then we give our final rating out of 5. We will decide what we are giving it. Not 5 stars. We never do stars.
Nope.
But we
stars
will
is too
decide
generic.
what we give it out of later in the podcast before we end things up. But Johnny, first impressions. What did you think of Rampage? Because coming in, I'll be honest, I did not have high expectations for this one.
My expectations when I first went in were, oh, this is going to be a decent B-rate film.
Okay.
It met those expectations. It exceeded them a little bit.
I think it exceeded those a little bit. Was it a great film? Like, amazing? No. But it was
fun.
It was exactly what I saw in many articles, because ever since we started reviewing these, when I see the review titles, I don't click on them until after we've seen it.
Yeah.
And the one that I kept seeing in headlines is, oh, it's just big, dumb fun. This was big dumb fun. That's exactly what this was.
And that's what made it enjoyable. I don't mind. I mean, let's be honest. What was the game actually? Big dumb fun.
That's exactly what. Like, this was one where, like, if you just want to go have a good time, The Rock is great in this one.
Yes,
The Rock is funny. And the interesting thing about this is it was fun seeing The Rock.
So is JDM though.
Yeah, but it was fun seeing The Rock kind of interact with. He was interacting with a CG monster. Yeah. Like it was an actual person, and made me believe it.
Exactly.
To where it was like, holy crap, it's like he's actually like.
He did really
acting to an actual person when it's just that thing's not there when he's acting.
Exactly. That was pretty good actually when you can do that, when you can pull that off.
The Rock is awesome.
He is.
Like I was telling you, the whole thing, we even talked about this, and I don't think we ever will, is the whole stuff going on between him and Vin Diesel. Yeah. The little drama in the Fast and the Furious. It's just who The Rock is. He's an ultimate professional. He's going to come in early. He's going to get his shit done. He makes sure that he's prepared each and every day, and he's kind to
treat everyone all right.
That's exactly what The Rock is. This movie, though, to me, it didn't, like, don't go, like, the story was better than I thought it would be.
Yeah,
I thought the story would be weaker. I would say the only thing, and I'll dive into this in spoiler mode, we're probably not going to stay in non-spoiler mode.
For much longer.
For much in this one, but if I was given just generalities, what I liked, what I didn't like. Story was good. Monsters were great. Well, the Ralph, Lizzie, George were great. My big negatives would probably be the villains in this one. I'll get into why exactly later on. Probably the villains was the biggest weakness. And other than that, there wasn't really a big weakness for me in this one. It was like, of course, it wasn't that movie that was like mind-blowing, revelational kind of a movie. But it was just a good, fun movie. I don't know if you had any what you liked, what you didn't like, generality before we get into spoiler
I'm going
mode.
to save it for spoilers because generality is...
Is generality a word?
I don't know, but it is now.
Okay, because after...
It's a Rick and Johnny word.
After I just said it, I was like, in my head, I'm like, I don't think that's a word. And then you said it, and I was like, is it a word?
I just used it because you used it.
I was like, is it a word, or is he just using it to be like... To be like our podcast. Like
I just used it because you used it. So guess what? It's now a Rick and Johnny word.
We're adding it to the RNJ dictionary as we speak. Generality. But this is where we're going to enter spoiler mode. If you have not seen the movie, you want to see the movie, go ahead, pause it. Like I say each and every week, I'll sit here as long as you want. I will sit here.
He does. He feeds on your views. So.
I do. I feed on the views. The views is what I feed on. Watch minutes and views is what I feed on.
Yeah.
Which is... Well, I've got this tummy because we get so many of them because of you guys out there watching our videos. But you guys can hit pause, go see the movie. If not, roll right through. But Johnny, let's jump into spoiler mode. And this is one where I just want to... I know that we usually say that, oh, we're going to go through the story.
Yeah.
I want to do that, but first I want to just dive into what I mentioned not too long ago.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let them wait for it.
The weak villains.
The weakest thing were the villains in this one because... You had, like, in the trailers, I thought it was going to be Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, when he first came on the screen, you're like, oh, so he's just Negan without a bat.
That's basically
He's
how he played it.
Negan without a bat.
I'm not complaining about it. I'm just stating.
I'll be honest. I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan in this one. My favorite line is, like, when the army sergeant was like, could you stop it with the cowboy stuff? And he goes, you know what they say about us cowboys? And, like, he feeds that line. I'm like, oh, man, like... I'm like, I like Jeffrey Dean Morgan. The whole playback between
him and The Rock.
Him and The Rock, where he goes to The Rock, well, you know what they say about us assholes?
We have to stick together.
We gotta stick together. It's like, oh my God, it's a love-hate. It's a love-hate friendship between the both of them.
As a wise cowboy once said, we assholes have to stick together.
Wasn't that asshole like his grandfather?
His grandfather said that, yeah.
Like my grandpappy always told me, us assholes gotta stick together. But no, the villains in this one were... weak is a good word because it was like the brother sister, right?
It seemed like it was brother sister, yeah.
Brother sister. They came up with the chemical.
Well, they owned the company that came up with the chemical.
Yeah. Well, the doctor that was with The Rock, she came up with the chemical.
Yeah.
But the company had the chemical. It came down from space, which I did like.
I did like that scene.
I didn't catch it until you told me the rat reference to Rampage 2 because they had the rat in the second one. Didn't catch that during, like, it didn't hit me during the movie.
Yeah.
With the rat, I just was like, oh, they're experimenting on rats. Like, why wouldn't they experiment on rats? Plus, we had the rat that she had, which was like her rat, like her pet rat that she had. But these villains, to me, they didn't really you didn't really have any development.
Maybe there wasn't just enough of them.
No, because every time they were on screen, I hated them. Not because of what they were doing, because they were just annoying.
I guess that's what you wanted out of a villain, no matter what, I guess.
No, but it's not like I hate you because of what you're like. It's not like I hate you because of what you're doing and you're drawing emotions out of me.
Yeah. It's
more of a annoyance hatred. To where it's like every time you're on screen, I just count the seconds until you're off the screen. Especially the female villain. Yeah. Can't remember her name right now. I'll have to look on the IMDb page. But it's like these villains had...
Claire Wyden
didn't have much development for me, and they didn't really pull anything out of me.
No.
Like, to me, the whole thing was Ralph and Lizzie were better villains than those two.
Yeah.
Because when George flips over, then it's Ralph and Lizzie are kind of
the villains
that they have to stop. But I just wasn't connected usually as I was, because you guys know me. I love giving my show stealer to the villains. What did you think on that front when it came to the villains?
No, they were pretty weak. Part of me was trying to figure out why it's like, was there just not enough of them? And I mean, the other part of it was you guys weren't villainous enough. You guys didn't put a lot on the table to make things menacing.
Plus, let's be honest, the brother was always like, oh no, what are we going to do? And he's just a spaz.
He's a spazzy little bitch.
Where she's always, like, she was the, like, mastermind, like, trying to use people, and it's like, it was also like, all right, you're trying to fit these villainous stereotypes. You're not doing anything new with these characters, to where I just wanted to see more screen time than with The Rock, with Naomi Harris, with Jeffrey Dean Morgan, with those characters, because they were much better and had way better development than he ever did.
Oh, I agree.
Like the Rock's development in this one, from like at the beginning when his one friend at the San Diego Conservation, whatever it was, he goes, "Oh, you don't like, people are gonna think you don't like humans," and he goes, "I don't. Animals know where you stand. They either eat you or not, and they let you know where
either your friend
stand.
or they eat you."
Exactly, whereas humans don't. And you kind of see him grow in that while going on this adventure with Naomi Harris's character. That's what I really wanted to see. And every time the villains took time away from that, like I thought Joe Manganiello was going to be, he was the guy that got killed.
Yeah.
He's Deathstroke.
Yeah. I thought he was going to be a bigger part.
He was going to be a bigger part. He died. Ralph ate him. It's like, well, didn't expect that to happen.
Nope.
I thought he was, I thought what it was, where it's like he was working with the villains, but I thought we'd get a scene where like he brings the report back. I knew they weren't going to catch Ralph, but I didn't think they'd kill him off.
No, I thought they were going to maybe, like you said, he was going to like get out of there and bring a report back or something like that.
But I mean, God, the whole villain side just sucked.
Yeah.
When it came to that. But what do you think of the monster? What did you think of Ralph, George, and Lizzie? That's the big thing.
I'm not opposed to it anymore because it fit into the movie fairly well, but I was thrown off a lot when Ralph could fly. Well, it's not flying, it's
here's
flying squirrel type thing.
Here's the thing I liked.
Yeah.
At first, watching the trailer, I was like, first off, I'm still on the hashtag not my Lizzie.
Yeah.
I'm still on that. I get why they did it. I'm still on that. I'll get to that in a second. But the thing I liked what they did with the whole serum or whatever you want to say it is, the whole pathogen. I think that's a better word for it.
Pathogen, yeah, just because it's what actually is what they use too. Is
that it was gene modifying to where, like, for example, with Ralph, he had porcupine spines because it's taking other DNA from other animals.
Yeah, and incorporating it into them. So he was able to do like a flying squirrel type thing.
Rocky.
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't like, oh, he can just hover up in the air.
Could you imagine if he flew down and then, now here's something you'll really enjoy. That would have been great.
That would have been
great, but Ralph couldn't talk in this one.
No.
But I did like that part of it. So it's like the whole like, oh, of course the wolf can fly. Didn't seem as alien as it did in the trailer.
Yeah, no, now it actually fit in because that's the cool part. It wasn't like, oh, they just threw it in there. It was like, yeah, the part of it is the DNA modifying, but the other part of it was like they didn't have him just like, oh, it opens up and he starts taking off. Yeah. No,
they didn't. It's not like they didn't explain it.
Yeah, well, because like for one example, jump building, open up to hover over someone.
Yeah.
And that was cool. And then the porcupine thing to take out the helicopter was cool, too.
Whereas I will say, although I hate Lizzie, and hashtag not my Lizzie, I did like the modifications they did, too. And by making her a crocodile, I liked the modifications where like it looked like she had the elephant tusks.
Yeah.
And the
coming off like the top of her face.
It looked like she had more advanced gills.
Yeah.
On the side and stuff. But my biggest gripe with Lizzie is that, and I said this to you, why couldn't they have just made her like a Komodo dragon or something?
No, I agree.
Something that was more lizard-like. Because the whole thing is the reference to, and also I did learn this, that in one of the shots where people are running away, the creator of Rampage is one of those people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's one of the people like running away. It was in the shot where he's running away from George.
Okay.
Because the reference to that, and I had to look this up for this, was that his name is George. The lead VR guy, the lead game designer guy with him, his name is Ralph. And then George's wife is Lizzie.
Ah.
So the three monsters are kind of named after
people that important to the game.
Yeah. So, I mean, he was in it, which I thought was a great reference when I looked into it. But the thing with Lizzie, I was like, why couldn't we make her like a lizard? More close to that. I get why they did crocodile, because the one thing I was going to ask you after the movie that I never did, that crocodile was in the Gulf of Mexico.
By the way, it was an alligator.
Was it an alligator?
Because it's in the Gulf of Mexico.
Whatever.
I'm just telling you, there's a difference.
I get they're different. I don't want to hear people in the comment section. Same fucking thing to me. Like, it's a similar thing.
Actually,
I get they're different. I get they're different. One lives in, what, salt water and the other one doesn't or something like that?
Saltwater. Alligators are prone to North America and Central America, whereas crocodiles are Asia, Africa, and also a big part of it's the snout.
Yeah,
alligators are thin, where or crocodiles are thin, where alligators are kind of rounded.
Yeah, so okay, she's an
Animal
alligator.
fact of the day.
All right, she's an alligator. Good thing I got that down.
Yeah,
Dwayne.
get your shit together.
But the whole thing I was going to ask you is, because everything takes place in Chicago in the end, is the Gulf of Mexico, like how she was able to get there was basically the Mississippi River, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought, and in my head I'm like, I should know this.
Yeah, she came up the Mississippi.
I just couldn't remember if the Mississippi River was connected to the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
I think that's where it runs into, right?
It runs out, yeah.
But that whole thing, like, I get why they did it, because, all right, can go up the Mississippi to get to Chicago, but part of me is just like, couldn't we have done it as a Komodo dragon to keep it closer? Well, we talked about in the other podcast we did, the regular podcast, about like the Titans and the
keep
costumes.
It closer to the.
That's me right now. I know where I stand. It's the same thing that I kind of bitched about in that podcast, but it was just one thing that bugged me when it came to #NotMyLizzie.
Keeping it closer to what Lizzie would look like.
Yeah, because she's not an
like
alligator.
Here's your liberties.
Yeah,
or here's what you have to fit. Find your liberties around that.
Because she's not an alligator.
No,
she's not. But
well, technically, if you want to get about it, they're supposed to be humans.
They are
from the video game.
True, that turn into
these animals.
Which would have been a unique,
very different
take
story.
on it.
Yeah,
because then we wouldn't have had it where it's like they kill Lizzie, they kill Ralph. We wouldn't have had that.
Yeah,
it would have been. Do you think they did that so they could just kill those two off and wouldn't have to be like, shit, how do we write in them changing back?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that'd be an interesting one. I mean,
like
that would
finding out how do we change it back instead of, because the thing that they did have was the whole thing of like, oh, this won't change him back, but it'll take down his aggressive nature.
Well, it would have been a very different storyline then. That's what I would think it'd be, because you'd have to have it. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson would have his friend, like human friend, changed into George, and then how do you go about that? It's like, oh, I got to change my friend back.
No, I like how they did it because of the story. They could just let the canisters fall from outer space.
Yeah.
Because that was interesting, too.
They're supposed to be able to survive re-entry.
As soon as, like, no, when the lady... First off, it's, no, I'm not letting you in this escape pod until you get my goods.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. And as soon as the rat was banging on the window...
Scratching it up.
I was like, fuck, that's gonna pop and, like, suck her out or something.
Yeah, it's gonna kill her.
However space does. I don't know how
space does space things.
Now, in space, it wouldn't suck you out. It would open, you'd go... there'd be no air.
It starts creating a vacuum, so all the air in there would start to suck out into space. But I mean, it could kill her that way. It could kill her from the lack of air.
Slams against the door or tries to get through it and cuts her.
Body just depending on how strong the vacuum. But I mean, all in all, it just makes and that's correct. It does make the spaceship explode from the pressure. Yeah, from the mass pressure change.
So she blows up. Yeah, the canisters re-enter. I did like how they did that though, because it was easily explained. Hey, they can survive re-entry. They just crashed
but not
down.
As well as they thought, apparently.
Yeah, not as well as they thought, because the second it got touched, it opened up. Dude, though, that scene with George, though, in the grizzly bear enclosure, way more darker than I thought. Yeah, because like he looked scared. Like George looked so scared to where it's like they show the grizzly. It's like, holy crap, he snapped its neck.
He smashed its face into the rock.
That too.
He's like, he just took down one of the deadliest predators, or largest and deadliest predators.
What did you think about that? That was the first time we saw that whole thing in general, like the whole pathogen thing. That
was nuts. And it makes sense why Lizzie's so much bigger than everyone else. Crocodiles in that area, the bayou alligator. Thank you. God damn it.
Well, you know, if you said, I feel like if you corrected me, I should have corrected you.
Yeah, God damn it. I'm blaming you for that, by the way,
okay,
for using crocodiles.
But then
3
I
times
said
earlier.
alligator ever since you corrected me.
Yeah, how many times have you used alligator since then?
Twice.
Maybe.
I've only said it twice.
Anyways, alligators live in that bayou area. They can get up to 10 feet at
This
least.
is why we should have just made her a lizard.
Yeah, exactly. It wouldn't be an issue then.
No confusion, just lizard.
Anyways, alligators in that bayou area can already be 10 feet long. Mm-hmm. And she ate the damn thing.
Yeah.
So she got the full length.
She didn't
of the
just
path
have it sprayed into
in their
her
face. It's inside of her.
Yeah.
So she got the full effect of it. Which is, I mean, the one thing I can at least say is what they gave her the back spines like Lizzie's supposed to have.
Yeah.
She had a shit ton of back spines. So
It wasn't like they were totally disregarded what they were going with.
exactly.
Like with the villains, the best thing I liked about their scenes was in the back you had the Rampage game.
That was
Like
cool.
the arcade game. Like I tapped
I like
it,
how
was
that's
like,
the best though.
I was
That's
like-
the best thing about the villain.
I was like,
the
there's
Rampage game is in the
Rampage
background.
game in the background. But what did you think of the love story between him and Naomi Harris's character, Dr. Kate Caldwell?
It was interesting.
Did you think that it was a strong bond? Like, because I didn't really get the whole yeah, I get that they were going to be the love interest, but I was like, at the end, I'm like, all right. It kind of seems like at the end they were really harping on it more than they did throughout the movie.
They probably shouldn't have harped on it so much throughout.
Just at the end.
At the end there,
Just how
because
George
I liked.
makes this reference.
Okay,
and,
that
like,
was funny though.
That was fun. I'm not saying take that out. I'm not. But like, it was a lot of like, oh shit, we're really gearing up for this to be a thing.
I kind of like where they left it because it wasn't like super like heavy even at the end there.
It wasn't like they showed him getting married.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly. It wasn't like they kissed or anything either. It's just like he's like, yes, she's part of our troop now.
Yeah.
Which
Our
is
troop.
which
She's
is
a part of our troop.
Which is the reference to hey, make sure so and so gorilla is part of your troop, George.
Yeah. And I mean, that was also, speaking of that at the beginning.
Yeah.
That was great with the young, because I was so confused of what was going to happen, because you had that young gorilla.
Yeah.
And then the white, like, George comes out, and I'm like, oh, fuck, is something really going to happen? Like, is there really something that is going to transpire here? And that turned into that thing from the trailer where it's like, me laughing, him cry. And it was like that whole thing where it's like, all right, just get up. You didn't poop yourself. Yeah, and then they fist. Yeah, gave the finger. That I didn't expect.
That was funny
to see George give the finger and then laugh about it. But anything you think we missed when it comes to
honestly,
spoiler mode or
we
anything?
basically hit everything you can. There's not a ton to this movie, which is why it's big dumb fun.
I'm trying to think anything we really missed. Did we talk about Jeffrey Dean Morgan?
A little bit.
Did we get everything you wanted to mention about him?
I
out?
mean, there's not a lot to say. He had a very Negan vibe, but to be the somewhat good guy.
I also like I like the vibe he gave while they were on the planet. Oh, she didn't tell you about who she really is. we're OGA. Oh, that's cute. Other government agency. Oh, that's cute. That's like The Rock. Oh, that's what we're gonna go with here.
That's cute. Thanks.
What did you think about making his character former army?
Oh,
Because he was technically former army going after poachers.
that
was
makes
his whole
I mean,
thing.
it helps push the story along. It helps. Honestly, helps a lot with the storyline.
Yeah, I
Which
also
is-
like how they didn't harp on George's history.
Yeah.
They just showed one quick scene and then okay.
Well, they didn't harp on his history either. Just hey,
Yeah.
you know what? You were in special forces. You went over to kill poachers.
And
Yes,
then
kill
that
poachers.
and then that was it. And then that was all they did, and they focused on the now. That's what
Yeah.
I really liked about it. Well, Johnny, let's close out the podcast like we always do.
Always.
Like probably the only thing we didn't mention was what you were mentioning as I was flipping the camera is the scene where he goes, I'm going to knock you out, and I'm going to choke you out, and I'm going to make you pee your pants. It's not a good look for you from the lady. And then you get the scene from the trailer. It's a big arm. It's a big arm. Don't fight it.
Don't fight it.
Don't fight it. Don't fight it. And he just knocks him out.
Just chokes him out. Yeah.
Whereas Jeffrey Dean Morgan, after that, what do you think? They just keep the keys in the ignition for you, and he just tosses them the keys. You're helping me? Let's just say I might need something from you later, which is a great life lesson. It's a great. I heard it also this week. Is don't burn bridges because you never know when you might need somebody.
Exactly.
You never know when this person is an enemy today, might be able to help you.
An
down
ally
the
tomorrow.
line. Yeah, could be an ally tomorrow. But how we end the show each and every time here on our movie reviews, we give a show stealer, which is our MVP for the movie, the guy or lady who stole the show. And then we give our rating. What are we going to give it out of? 5 what?
Pathogens?
Not sold.
Canisters? Monsters?
Kind of. Let's give it out of 5 Georges. Right? No. You're not sold on that
monsters.
one? 5 monsters? Let's go with canisters.
Canisters?
We'll just go with canisters.
Okay.
So we'll first start with our show stealer. Johnny, you first. Who are you giving as your show stealer?
I'm giving it to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Do you smell what The Rock is cooking?
I'm giving it as Davis Okoye because you know what? I mean, a lot of development for him. He did a great job in it. And
without him, this movie is not as great as it is. Or good as it is, I'll say.
And not to mention being able to act. And I mean, there's probably someone like standing there with the CGI dot suit. But
it's not the same.
It's not the same as having to look up at George when he's like 20 feet tall. And
because you got to do that. You can't look at the...
Yeah, you want to look at the guy that's like right in front of you. You have to make sure you're looking up at him and talking like you're talking to
especially when George is 20 feet like bigger than he is.
Yeah. When
like, did he get bigger? Yeah. That kind of a thing.
Significantly. But yeah, no, that's who I'm getting to, and that's why. Because to be able to do that acting and to make it as like flowing as well as it did is amazing.
I'm going in a different direction.
I know.
And I actually had to ask you if you're okay with this, because technically I'm not giving it to an actor or an actress. I'm giving it to a CGI character. I'm giving it to George. Because to me, the best part about this movie was George. Like George, how he played off of The Rock was great. How they had him, I should say, play off of The Rock was amazing. I got to give it to
There is an actor for George, by the way.
Is there?
I mean, Jason Lyles. Probably the noises and stuff, but...
Oh. Then I'll give it to Jason. Should I give it to just George, or do I give it to Jason?
That is up to you, sir.
Because see, that's the thing. Is he just the guy that was...
I would say if he did the CGI suit, then yes. Give it to George.
I'll give it to George. But Jason gets an honorable mention.
Yes.
Because he was standing in for George. That might change by the time we get to the end of the year, but I had to give it to George with how they played off of everything. You wanted to give an honorable mention, though. I'm going to let you give the honorable mention.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Why?
I just loved his role.
Just a big, dumb, fun character.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
He just played a big, dumb, fun...
Just a big, dumb, fun movie. That's all this is.
He played a big, dumb, fun character in a big, dumb, fun movie.
And I love how they made him have that cowboy-esque to him.
Yeah.
Just made it so much better.
He carried the pistol. With a cowboy belt.
Another thing I forgot to say is the parachute, them parachuting out of the, is a reference in itself.
Oh,
in the title screen when the army guys are parachuting out of the plane.
I like his reaction though, because Dwayne saves his life. He's like, they're free falling. He goes, "Oh shit!"
Well, wouldn't you do the same thing?
I would too.
If you woke up and you were free falling in the air.
I would, but I love the reaction. I don't know about you, but...
Let's go on to our rating.
Yes.
Let's give it out of 5 canisters. What are you giving it?
3 canisters out of 5.
Why? Because I'm in the same boat. I'm giving it a 3 as well.
Big, dumb, fun movie.
That's exactly it.
That's it. I mean, it wasn't amazing.
It was a good movie. It was a fun ride.
It was better than I expected.
Exactly. It didn't... Well, and that's kind of the theme with the movies that we've seen so far. The last, 4 that we've seen?
Yeah.
Low expectations. You're not as upset about it.
Exactly.
Like Tomb Raider, Pacific Rim, Ready Player One, Rampage, all 4 of these movies have been, I don't know, I'm kind of nervous about this one. I'll just go in with low expectations.
Especially a video game movie.
I mean, let's be honest, though. The next 2 that we've at least gotten written down, Super Troopers, not expecting anything amazing from that.
No, I'm not.
I'm expecting that to be a great, fucking comedy.
Yeah.
And to laugh my ass off. Because
in Infinity Wars, I'm expecting to cry.
Because I love Super Troopers. And then Infinity Wars, I expect to just have my whole sense of reality just shook. Just shook. down to its core to where I don't know what to do.
We should maybe call an Uber in case there's that bad.
Maybe, or else you'll have to drive us here to the studio so that we can do that review right after we do the movie. But yeah, I'm giving it a 3 out of 5 as well. It was a good movie. I had a fun time watching it. There were a few things that I didn't like, but it was nothing like... It was nothing that was like, oh my God, this is a bad movie. It was just right down the middle. Will I watch it again? Maybe if it's on Netflix or something. But I'm not going to actively go out and watch it again.
I would go and someone said, hey, I want to go see Rampage. Okay, I'll go see it.
It was a good movie. Go watch it again.
I mean,
but
Tuesday nights are $5
You're not going to be
here.
like, hey guys, let's go and see Rampage. You'll wait for someone else
to bring it up. I mean, Tuesdays are $5 nights, so why not?
Any final thoughts on Rampage?
No, just a big, dumb, fun movie.
Well, this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you think down below in that comment section. If you saw Rampage, let us know what you think. If you didn't see Rampage, but you're going to, let us know what you are expecting. Well, really, we spoiled it, so you should know what to expect at this point. Want to thank you guys for watching. A little housekeeping here at the end before I go into that. Patreon.com/MostValuedPodcast is where you can help support us and get rewarded for doing so. Store link down below in the description to get your own MVP t-shirt. MostValuedPodcast.com is where you catch MVP each and every day, and then catch us on Apple Podcasts and iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. It would really mean the world to us. Want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening on podcast services around the world. And as always, have a good day, everybody.